I'm Brenda Gear, the founder of PEEKaMEET. Welcome to the PEEKaMEET method. We're here to share tips and resources with freelancers, job seekers, and entrepreneurs to help them on their journey and overcome all the challenges of COVID. And hopefully we can find some opportunities in this. Tune in frequently to see what tips and resources we have for you. Welcome to the PEEKaMEET Daily. We have Jordan Spector with us, and she's going to share some of the challenges and opportunities that she experienced during COVID-19 and the shutdown. Jordan, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people about you?
Hello, my name's Jordan, and I own a business that is yoga therapy. And I actually started it right at the new year, so right before COVID hit. So there were definitely some challenges along the way, but also doors of opportunity opened in the virtual world. So, like Zoom. I teach yoga classes, group classes on the Zoom platform, and provide individual therapy as well. I'm a therapist. And yeah, so I do this all via Zoom and some social distance, but I love what I do, and I wasn't going to give up my passion because of, you know, an unfortunate situation. Yeah.
So, Jordan, you're just talking about your therapist. So, how do you think a lot of people are dealing with the isolation, and what are some things that they can do for those that haven't been dealing with it?
I think that's a really I know it's a big struggle right now. And I would encourage people to get outside. I mean, vitamin D is so good for your mental health. Push yourself to, even go for a walk or call an old friend and social distance hangouts. Just because, we have these new ways of living doesn't mean that you have to not live your life, like I will see a friend and we'll be 6 feet apart. So just if you find yourself getting into that hole where you're maybe even isolating yourself, definitely seek help and do what is the opposite that your mind is telling you to do would be my advice.
So you started a business right before COVID, and there's probably a lot of people like you. They left, a company where you kind of have a steady paycheck, and started their business. What are three things that you would suggest to someone that they're a little scared now? Like, what are the things that they could do to keep their business flowing, even in the virtual world?
I would say make decisions out of love and not fear. A lot of people are, maybe going with fear-based decisions rather than love-based decisions and take risks. The only way to grow is to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And sometimes that may mean learning a whole different world, such as the virtual world. And just try and get comfortable with sometimes being uncomfortable.
Did any of your friends or family lose their job, or maybe a mom decided to stay home because she has to teach her children at home now?
Um, yes, I mean, I have family members that are in like the music entertainment industry, and obviously there is no concerts right now. So, and big events, so that's put them out of work. Um, and yeah, I mean, I also work at a psychiatric hospital, and many of the patients I work with are dealing with loss of job, loss of income. Um, so, you're not alone if that's something you're going through. There is help and there are opportunities.
So here in Denver, there are a lot of homeless people, and sometimes the mental health issues kind of lead to that. It's not necessarily that someone chose that lifestyle. Do you think the isolation that COVID has presented us could cause some form of PTSD?
Absolutely. I think that what we are enduring right now is collectively traumatic. And, it's absolutely going to take a toll on our mental health in the future. But if we can take care of ourselves right now and practice self care, go to therapy, do things that make you feel good, despite what is, um, we'll get through this. And I think there's just a strong power in a collective energy. And, sometimes they say you have to burn the house down to rebuild it. So, as much as I do believe that this is traumatic, I also believe that there's many glimmers of hope and breakthroughs for better mental health in the future.
Denver just passed a tax. I think it's called the homeless tax. What are some ways that they could use that money to help with mental health? It's not just because someone's homeless. You can put them in a home. There are other things we have to do to help rebuild them and, and get them established back into society the way they should be.
Right. Yeah, and I think case management is so helpful for the homeless population. And those are social workers like myself. And I and it's like you give resources, education, and help someone navigate the system because the system is confusing. Also, those therapists are working hard to motivate those individuals to want to create a better life for themselves so that money allocated to more resources for homeless individuals I think is really a good thing.
Mhm. You seem very centered, but did you experience any type of isolation or any awkward feeling, just during the initial shutdown?
Absolutely. I mean, to this day I'm constantly like it feels like almost dystopian, the society we're living in, and it's unreal and it's hard to wrap your mind around. And I think that's where acceptance comes in, that it's okay to not understand what's going on. And just I try and find, that's why I practice yoga and teach yoga for others for healing, because I find that it brings you to a present minded place where you're not thinking about the external world, what may be going on around you. Rather, you're going inward, and there's this profound opportunity for inner healing and growth um, amidst this chaos.
Besides doing yoga, are there any books, podcasts, groups that you would recommend?
Yeah, so I have a favorite podcast, and it's called Optimal Living Daily. They're about 7 minutes long, 7 to 10 minutes, and I love that because they're short. I could, pay attention. I normally listen to them in the bath. He also has Optimal Startup Daily, which is great for entrepreneurs and people that are starting a business. I've been listening to that one. So those are my favorite podcasts. As far as books go, there's a beautiful book by Pema Chodron called When Things Fall Apart. And I found it useful in my past when I've gone through things. And I think it would be helpful for anyone today to read her words. She's really full of wisdom.
So you mentioned there's a podcast for entrepreneurs. Brad Feld, during Denver Startup Week, he interviewed Dave Moore, and it was on a Friday, and the whole thing was about mental health, mental wellness and mental health, and it was just a really very thought provoking because a lot of people think, oh, people are successful, they don't really have issues like other people, and that's not true. And it was just this week I learned that Brad had started a group. And so I'm like, I'm gonna join that group. But yeah, so that's inspiring that you're even aware of a podcast for entrepreneurs, and well, you're entrepreneurial yourself. So uh,
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. And yeah, I mean, the mental health issues that are occurring right now are so normal, if I want to say the word, which I don't use that word a lot, but it's to be expected, right? Like it's a very anxiety provoking time that we're living in. But when we feel these ways, we can come back to the self and learn new tools to ground and, like I said, learn more about yourself, and do some inner healing during times when maybe you know are stuck at home. I think this is a beautiful time, for anyone to begin a journey of therapy, or yoga therapy.
Yeah, it's nice that there's online resources that people, they can't go out, or, they're limited to going out. And maybe they don't really have the money to afford a therapist by the hour. So I think that's really good they have the podcast. So with the yoga, so there are a lot of parents out there, moms, dads, they're teaching their kids at home and trying to work. How much time do they need to do some sort of routine of yoga? Can they sneak a few minutes in? Do they need an hour?
Honestly, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, like any time. I think 20 minutes is always a great amount of time to do, any type of self care. And I consider yoga to be self care. So just, maybe in the morning before the kids are awake, take some time to meditate. Sorry, my dog, Dewey. Um, and, don't look at your phone. And first thing in the morning, just take that 20 minutes to meditate, which is a part of the yoga therapy. Or I have a YouTube page, and there's videos that are short that you could wake up and just do a little sun salutation, or maybe when they're doing homework.
Oh, that's great. So tell us about your YouTube page and what's the name of it? How do people find you?
So everything you can find on from my website, which is jordanspectortherapy.com. And I do have a YouTube page, which is Jordan Spector Therapy. And I only have a few videos up right now. I thought this is something new that I actually just started, because I'm taking advantage of this virtual world that's really has unlimited potential. So I would love if you subscribe, and you can find the link to subscribe right in my website, which again is Jordan Spector Therapy.
Jordan, can you just spell that out?
Yeah, so Jordan, Jordan, Spector, Spector, therapy.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we want to get you some subscribers, and I need to check it out myself. I need those few minutes. So my
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is doing push-ups. I run and do push-ups, to break it up, but I probably need a little bit more of that yoga for my arm.
Yeah, well, I mean, cardio is great too, but I love the stillness with movement, is what I like to offer, and also talk therapy. And I do, just so you know, I do offer a sliding scale to accommodate to certain individuals who are experiencing financial hardship. So, I mean, I know a lot of other therapists as well offer that option.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's great to hear, and just wonderful that someone else can experience that benefit that has that need.
Hmm.
So, Jordan, we all have an ask. What's your ask?
I would ask that everyone acts more out, makes more choices from love than fear, and to treat others with love, because right now, you just don't know what anyone's going through. And I think it's more important than ever to give a stranger a smile, hold the door, and ask someone how they're doing, and genuinely want to know, because like I said before, we're all in this collectively. And I think collectively, as difficult as these times are, we're also going to persevere and grow with resilience.
So one of my friends this week, she told me, instead of asking how you are, how's your spirit? And I thought that was really good for opening conversations, because that could be
Love
anything. You know,
that.
you have your work spirit, you have your home spirit, you just, you know, your friend, whatever. So I just felt like
Yeah,
that was a good ask.
I love that. I'm gonna start asking that
Jamie Lindauer. Thank you, Jamie.
now.
Well, Jordan, thank you for being with us today, and we hope to get some subscribers and some business for you, and
Thank you so much.
help other folks out there. You know, just kind of deal with
Yeah,
this isolation. And winter's coming on, so definitely going to be a bigger need, I think.
right, right. Brenda, thank you so much for having me. And I hope to see you soon. Good luck to
Thank
everyone, and
you.
know that there is there is so much faith out there, and